Hello, everyone. Welcome back to NAmen episode 6. We have a very fun episode planned, going through quarterfinals and looking at semifinals, what we think, and everything that's happening with Worlds. I'm Arsh. I'm hosting today, ArshCoil13 on Twitter. That one random dig intern you all know and hate. We have Delphi.
Hi, I'm Delfi, December OLI on Twitter. I'm going to semis on Friday. I'm so excited.
Maxi.
See, I'm finally back. You can find me on Twitter. I will actually spell it right this time. So it's Gumayushi Sonsu. Sonsu is spelled with an S-E-O-N-S-U.
And finally, our special guest of the day.
Hey everybody, it's Seanatonin over here, former GM of amateur North American team Supernova.
Sean is the GOAT of Twitter in the amateur and league fan space. Everyone knows Sean. Okay, so we had a lot of fun matches over the 4 days of quarterfinals we had. We opened with Rogue JDG, a real competitive match to open us up. I don't know if anyone had thoughts on that.
Let me talk about this. Kanavi is just so good. And plus, he's like so cute. And his face is so round and so. He's so adorable. But okay, we're not talking about how cute he is. We were talking about how he smurfed on carry junglers. I felt really bad for Malrang because everyone was like, oh, he got gapped. But it's not really his fault. It's just Kanavi. Kanavi was dominating the LPL. He was dominating groups. He dominated Rogue. It's not unexpected that they got.
I mean,
3-0
probably
in such a
the
manner.
best jungler in the world.
Real. Oh, he's so sorry. And I think him him versus Owner will be a really competitive match, but I honestly think T1 as a team are better, but Kanavi individually is better.
So are we talking better like skill wise or better looks wise here? Just so we're
They have different looks. Owner is he has a really nice back, and
Not the
Kanavi has a
back.
really
All
round
right,
face.
skipping
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
wonderfully along. I don't know, Maxi, Sean, did you have any thoughts on the JDG Rogue series?
I unfortunately I slept through the whole thing because that whole series is like 5 a.m. onwards for me.
Well, you slept through it. It was it was like a whole hour of entertainment.
Okay, stop the cap, Arsh.
Okay,
It
but
was a whole
like
hour and they got
you have to
routed.
remember when that was on, I just finished finals and I could did not sleep very well for like a week.
Yeah.
I definitely think that going into it, the quarters, everyone kind of pegged this as a 3-0, possibly 3-1 if Rogue could like pull out something. Um, maybe get like Malring like gets comp ahead, or like Odo just kind of does Odo things, I guess. Yeah, it was fun. I think it was a lot more competitive. Like sometimes you see 3-0s and you're like they got stomped. They definitely got stomped, but Rogue still had like good looks in parts of the
Yeah,
games,
like
but
game 3, they
overall,
put up a fight.
yeah,
Yeah, I'd agree.
it was pretty much expected, so like not dogging on Rogue, but it was
I think this
very
is
very hard.
this is kind of what to me an EU LPL EU LCK, especially a 1 seed LPL BO5 would look like regardless, right? Where it's like it's not quite like when NA faces off against these LCK LPL 1-2 seeds where it just feels like okay, we got a lot of learning out of that one. Where it does feel like Rogue had something, you know what I mean? But it just didn't feel like that showed up. Um, and like Odo was kind of coasting in my opinion, a lot of the time when he was against.
Can't really do much else against 369.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
I'm saying like he was coasting when he was playing like domestically and like earlier in the
Oh yeah.
tournament, right? But like now you're against 369 and you're playing Maokai Ornn and you're down 30 plus CS. You know what I
Well,
mean? Like
that's just 369 rolling
yeah, it's just
nines.
369 gap. It's really hard when it's like you win off of your players being solid and then you have one psychopath in the jungle. But like if your laners can't be solid, right? Like you're not winning into 369. You're not winning top. You're not going even in top, right? And that makes Malrong's job harder. You're not going even in bot against JDG's bot lane. You're not comp is not better than hope, right? It's just not happening. So it's just really hard, I think, for Rogue to play that, and you could see that play out for sure.
Actually, out of all the LPL representatives, JDG's bot lane is actually the weakest, so I thought they would play through. I thought Rogue would try to play through bot. Because, like, if you consider, like, what, Viper Mako, Gala
Yeah.
Ming, and,
Yeah, I
Jackie
think
Love.
Jackie
Jackie
Love. So like, yeah, that was you were talking about like for LPL 1 seed Arsh. I was like, Cries and top esports of LPL 2 seed, or the
please
1.5
don't
seed.
talk about top
Yeah,
esports.
Yeah.
top esports
I
got a
will
little bit.
cry again.
Trust
Yeah.
me, I bought the freaking flag when I was there on Group C day and went from cheering when they stole Elder and being so happy to just like
Oh no.
absolutely being
Aw.
defeated.
Yeah, I started bawling on the way home from work.
Oh, that's so
yeah.
It's hard, and actually, Delphi, that brings up an interesting point because JDG and TS didn't make it, but like arguably, or maybe not even arguably, like JDG and TES have the weirdly like weaker bot lanes in the eyes of many people than the 3-4 seeds from LPL,
Yeah.
right? Like
Viper
Viper,
Mako
Mako,
and
and
Ming are
Gala.
considered stronger than like
Yeah,
Jackie Live Mark and Hope Missing.
which is interesting because they won in a meta that was way more bot lane focused. I don't know, it's just an interesting thought. I think JDG's obviously a really good team.
Well, I can talk about LPL playoffs a bit if you don't mind.
Yeah,
Like
go
the
ahead.
reason they Top Esports made it that far is because not only is Knight an absolute psycho insane player, Kanavi is as well. Tien was actually smurfing his ass off in playoffs.
Yeah,
And
Tien was the best
Tien
fucking player in all
Yeah,
of
Tien. I mean,
LPL.
there's a reason Tien won MVP. Like he
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
easily the best player in playoffs.
I
And
think
then,
yeah.
like if you look at it, like EDG and RNG looked horrible. I did not think they were gonna make it. They didn't look horrible, but they didn't look good either. Like, I mean, LNG was like what, ninth, almost beat like one more best of 5 against RNG, and they would have won, like made worlds.
Mhm.
Like they didn't look super strong. Like RNG and EDG didn't look very strong despite having stronger bot lanes, which is why JDG tests were actually top seeds, despite their bot lanes being the weaker of the.
Interesting.
of the
Yeah,
group.
I mean, I do think obviously RNG EDG were not at that level because, well, no spoilers, but those teams did lose.
Shockers.
Yeah,
Oh my god, who
spoilers
knew?
for anyone watching this podcast without having seen the quarterfinals matches. I'm so sorry. But next game, we have T1 RNG. I wonder who we have that would want to talk about T1, Maxi.
Hmm.
I don't know.
I cried. I never expected myself to cry at like 7 a.m. Like, okay, I'm sorry, I'm not very analytical about games because for some reason, like, information about games would like come and go for me. But the only thing I can remember is I remember shouting to the point that my family was complaining. They're like, Max, please shut up.
It's 7
Please.
a.m. Did you go to sleep and then wake up for it, or did you stay up?
Oh,
She
I
wakes
went to
up.
sleep. I have an alarm.
Yeah, I know what an alarm is.
Yeah,
I was
but like
curious.
I think I missed the first game. I don't remember
It
because
was
my
yeah.
it was the Guma Ash and they did the Ashheimer bot lane for
Oh
game
my
1.
god,
Yeah.
Guma
oh my
Yushi
god, oh
coming
my
into
Yushi.
What about Gumayushi Maxi?
He
Gumayushi Sansu on Twitter?
he is very. He's just very good at the video game. And
Yeah,
he
he's
is
he's good
very
at
really
the
good at
video
the
game.
video game.
handsome. He's very good at the video game. Like I
Good with his
play.
fingers.
Stop.
Stop.
What is going on?
His mom
He's got
listens
great
listens
hands.
to this.
He's one of the
True,
most
yeah.
mechanical players in Left of Worlds.
Yep.
Yeah, but
I mean, like I think
um
top 4 would that's generally how it
Listen,
goes, but
he's
yeah.
so good at the game. His A key is just like destroyed after every single
Yep.
match.
It's
Because
crazy.
for those who don't really know Guma's play style. He likes spamming his A key, and it gets spammed so much. Plus, he has blue switches, so you could hear it. Like they had T1 before spring started. They had like this game for Red Bull, and Faker had like a separate stream for the game, and you could hear Guma's keyboard from Faker's stream.
Dude,
That's crazy.
I have. It's crazy.
He
Guma
plays.
just.
I mean, he plays hard and fast. I mean, it's Guma is actually a really interesting point. Probably the main point of the series, because like coming into Worlds, people thought that Gumayushi was the weakest ADC out of the East,
I mean,
right? Like people
I
Yeah,
genuinely did not have
people,
high hopes
because
for Guma.
me included.
because of
Sorry.
it's fine. I understand too because of how he performed in MSI
Well,
and
not even
kind of
MSI. It was
It
like
was the
LCK
summer
playoffs and LCK
regular
regular
season.
season where people were like Gumayushi, because I mean, coming into MSI, like
he did really well
Gumayushi
in
Carrier
spring.
were
They all everyone
Yeah,
in
they
T1
obviously went undefeated.
yeah, but like starting MSI towards spring towards summer, it was like kind of downhill for his performance.
yeah,
So
I'd agree with
it's
that.
uh, so
Yeah, I
it
think
a
they
lot of
needed.
people were just really surprised about his performance in quarters.
I think it was like so because the Aphelios Jinx meta like really benefited him in like spring, right? Which
Yeah,
led
Yeah,
to
cause
them.
yeah, cause those are his two best champs.
Yeah, and then like the Sivir Zeri kind of meta was not good. Like I think it's not crazy to say he wasn't considered a top 3 ADC in even LCK because you had Ruler and then Prince
Ruler
and the,
Prince. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and then you can like look at like how maybe like Def, Duck Dom, and Guma would be like right there afterwards.
I think
Aiming
people would
would be as
put
well.
Deft above, and I don't know if they'd put Doctom above Guma, but maybe they would.
You know,
May-
but because yeah, and as we all
Regardless,
get
you're
into
right. It's
later.
debatable.
Yeah,
yeah.
I just think it's like he definitely. I think he only died twice the entire series of the 3
Yeah.
Yeah,
games.
it was a really, really good series from him. I'm looking at the stats right now. He played Ashe,
He-
died 0 times. Played Zaya, died 0 times, and then played Varus and died twice.
Yeah, and I actually really liked that second game because like people were talking about like what the heck, 5 pick uh the Zaya right there. But it's like if there's one, you know, team or region or like staff like to like a freaking Kaisa Zaya meta coming back to like 2018, you
Yeah,
know,
2019.
2019, yeah,
Yeah,
2019 is like it's like that is such a known kind of quantity like matchup, and now you just add the Renata Glask into Ming's Nautilus, which I was really, really shocked with like Ming during the series, quite honestly.
Did
yeah,
you see
not
Because
in a
Yeah,
good way, I
like
imagine.
yeah,
Ming
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
do like
series the
any
one where
damage
Ming
until
played
21 minutes into the
Nautilus.
game.
What was that?
Yeah, what's up,
What
Maxi?
was uh, right? No, Ming played Nautilus. I remember Ming
Yeah,
had
he
like a
played
really bad
Nautilus two
Nautilus
games in a
game.
row and then switched to Soraka.
All three looked atrocious, by the way.
Ah man.
Yeah, he had a really bad series. Maybe one of the worst series of his career internationally.
Well, Nautilus obviously very, very hard to play into that Ash like Heimer bot lane and stuff like that.
Yeah, and even
It was
harder in second
yeah,
game.
yeah, and I think like game 3 was like one of the faster ones. I think if I remember correctly. Like I think
Yeah.
Yeah, game
the
3 was 26.
yeah, it's like I will say that this was very shocking. I know that when like you looked at like LOL esports like little prediction stuff, like it was like a 80% or higher, like thinking T1. I did not think this would be such a one-sided
Yeah, that was
series
pickems though. I
as it
think
was.
odds had it more close to even.
Yeah, Pickums is very Western. Like it's
Oh, for
almost
sure, yeah.
Yeah,
all
Western
Yeah.
biased, and
Western,
I
which is
think in
why
China they
JDG
don't do
has like
pickems, at least not on the same
JDG
site.
is at like 20%.
Yeah, the pickums for semis are sus in my opinion, but
Little sus.
Yeah,
yeah,
we
for
can
sure.
actually we can talk about that when we get to the semis later. That's a fun
Yeah.
way to look at it. Like, what are people picking? Who are the favorites? But I mean,
So,
just for that quickly, like that game 2 draft was Fiora Jace top, Silas Akali mid,
is that the
and
one where
Kaisa
Zayn
Zaya
went
bot.
like 0-6?
What?
Like yeah, 0-6, but he had like one of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
most
yeah.
Mhm.
damage in the game.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
Rest
it's
in
just
peace.
like it literally looked like a 2019 game.
I
Okay.
mean, Korean Jace, come on.
Yeah,
Korean
okay.
Jace.
I also think that I get so tired of people being like, "Oh my god, he's 0-6. How is he doing so much damage?" It's like, does he
It's
have
game.
items? Okay, does he have items? That's like his.
Yeah.
He's not. It's not Dota where you're losing gold if you die. Okay, you're not getting punished and stuff
Yeah.
like this. Is
Yeah.
if he has items, he will do damage versus this team.
Yeah.
And I
It's
feel
like
like,
asking like why an Ezreal's doing damage if he's like
Yeah,
0-4. He has
I
items.
mean,
He's playing
this guy
Ezreal.
shouldn't be doing
what
damage
was
to me. He's
how
0-6. What does that mean?
how many assists did he have? That's the
It's
question.
like
I don't
3,
He
no?
ended with
remember.
10 assists. Oh
Yeah,
wait,
Oh, yeah,
10.
he did 10.
Because I feel like he was poking a lot and giving the kills to his teammates instead,
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was
rather
at
Yeah,
than taking it for
10
it's
out of
himself.
13. Yeah.
I mean, this actually segues us nicely. Like we can kind of preview the because we finished this side of the bracket now. So now we're talking about T1 and JDG who we just talked about. And like for me, Zeus 369 is like like
Oh my god.
Oh
No.
absolutely
god.
oh, you know,
that is
it's
that
very
is the
chef's
matchup
kiss. It's the
for
like every part of this matchup is beautiful, right? Every part of this matchup. But Zeus 369 is just it's incredible.
It's gonna be like I need them to aim the camera at the top lane 24/7,
Yeah, you need a
please.
second stream. You
Real.
need a second stream that's just sitting in top lane.
I
Like
know.
seriously, like Zeus, and part of the reason like this game proved this for me is like Zeus has always been great at being played around, especially in Summer Split by T1, right? They just play around Zeus really, really well, and he's been getting them a lot of their wins. This game, Zeus goes down 0-4 due to smiling. 0-6, he is smiling. 0-8, he's won the game.
Oh yeah,
Incredible.
Zeus
And
is
then,
known to be untiltable.
and then he
369
typed
could like
pop diff
yeah,
afterwards.
369 could literally like could
Top
get
gen.
Kanavi in there and they're just spam gank this guy under tower, diving him over and over. It's 3 minutes, he's like 0-5. And Zeus is like, but I win though. I win. I'm not
But
tilted.
the only
I go for the
problem
perfect angle
is
Yeah.
every time.
I
With
hope oh sorry.
Yeah,
uh
Maxi.
because with the top jungle duo, Honor and Zeus, if you watch their streams, they're so like they don't get tilted easily. Where they're like so like let's say Zeus got
Like a
solo
certain
killed,
bot
they'll be
laner.
Zeus will be like, "Oh, I got solo killed," and
It's so funny.
then
It's so funny.
Honor
I
would
love
be
it.
like, "Oh, you got solo killed." Like they'll be sing songing while they're in duo,
That's funny.
and they're even though they're losing, they're not like getting mad. Like sure, Honor would like shout every now and then, but like it's not to the point where they're like really tilted.
Yeah.
So their mental is really strong.
It reminds me of have you seen that one video? It's when the season restarted and they can duo. It was Ruler and Lehens playing together. And then Lehens got hit by a Zillion bomb and then flashed on top of Ruler and killed them both.
I
And
love that.
Ruler started like crying and then like pushing his chair away. Dude, Ruler is so easily tilted. Dude, ADCs are easily tilted. I'm telling you.
I I
Guma's tilted. Ruler's always tilted. Deft is the only exception.
as an ADC
My goat.
main, I can relate. I'm the first one to FF15.
The support main.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
totally
gosh.
understand.
I
Nope.
can't believe the 80 carry is the one.
Yeah.
Colored me shocked.
ADCs are notoriously really nice in all chat. That's what they say about ADCs.
Yeah, for sure.
But
Shocked
okay,
Pikachu
actually,
face.
this is an interesting thing because I saw this come up. Hot take. I think Faker might be the worst player on this team in that series.
In that
Uh,
series?
in the series?
Yeah, in this series, I think
Agreed.
Faker looked the quote unquote worst. I mean, how bad can you look when you're crushing an LPL whatever 4 seed, 3 seed, 3-0 or 4 seed? When you're crushing an LPL 4 seed 3-0, you can't look that bad. But it was an interesting thing to look and be like, hey, I think Faker was the one who didn't have any highlights. Like he was fine. He was
Yeah,
stable.
plus
Faker
but
was
with
there.
Yeah.
But with Faker, I remember someone pointed out how his playstyle changed. Rather than being the carry,
Yeah.
he started being he started being like a support mid for his team. So there's more like say more impressive plays with his teammates
Exactly.
because
I mean,
rather
like
than
it makes
So,
sense, right?
but
yeah.
like, is your reasoning that he was the worst looking player because he didn't have any highlights?
Well, okay, so I think part of it is highlights and part of it is like direct impact, right? Like Faker had a lot of impact on these games. Of course, he's the mid laner, right? But like
Yeah.
even in his Akali game, he was just playing Akali, right? For Faker, right? He's playing the game correctly. He's playing the game to support his team. But even on Akali, he's, in my opinion, he's looking very stable, which is not a bad thing. But it's
So
just
yeah,
interesting to note that the greatest of all time is on this team where if you're excited about the series, you're telling someone, "Oh my god, I just watched a T1 RNG series. I'm a huge T1 fan." Zeus smurfed out of his mind. Guma, oh my god, insane. Keria was finding shit that I didn't know was possible. Owner was like on every side of the map constantly turning losing games into winning out of nowhere. And you're like, Faker, like Faker's the fifth name out of your mouth. And I
well,
just think
so
it's
I
interesting.
really think that's like dependent upon game because like so I would definitely say game one is like top side, right? Because like
Yeah,
you
yeah, for
have
sure.
Guma
Camille.
Ashenheimer, right? Like Ashenheimer, that's pretty much it. But like Zeus doing well over there. Game two, I think is like obviously that's when Zeus like was 0-6. So like T1 the entirety of the team is on the back foot, right? But their bot lane was like kind of the one that helped him with owner. And Faker's like doing his job as they're like playing damage control, I guess you could say, on
Yeah.
top side, like trying to keep Zeus into it. And then game three is like Zeus popping off, right? But like I would say that Faker was to say that he was probably the worst. I think he was one of the more consistent players because if Zeus
Yeah,
has
for
like
sure.
a pop off and then a super low, that's a bigger variant to me than like Faker going whatever like seven
Yeah.
three, and stuff like that.
I'm
So I
definitely not
think
saying
he's
that
like
Faker is like
yeah,
a bad player. Faker's consistency is the core of this team. If you don't have Faker in the middle of these four psycho rookies, or not rookies really, but like these are four
young
psychotic young
players, yeah.
players who are highly mechanically talented to a level which I mean we rarely see. Like this is the kind of player you have this on your team and they carry you to worlds and that's your story. T1 has four of them. And I think that if you don't have Faker in this mid lane, I think that um this team doesn't work. I literally think no other mid laner works here, but other than maybe like rookie, right? But like I wasn't what I was
Zhao.
alluding to was like Faker is the least flashy. He's maybe the quote unquote lowest overall rating in this game in these series if you're just looking at it eye test or whatever. But he's like the most important because every game Faker is positive, Faker is solid every time, and like it's very clear that Faker is shot calling, right? Like it's just
I don't
interesting
know
to see
about
this
that, but
team.
like I mean obviously one I don't speak Korean, but I think of it and I don't have like comms, but I mean like he's definitely helping guide and stuff like that. But like obviously I think owner is like
Owner and
he's
Carrier do most of the shot calling.
Yeah,
yeah, and
I
like
think that's what I think from
owner's
their
the
top
spearhead.
players.
But like I understand what you mean. Yes, obviously this is not the Faker of old. And
yes,
as
exactly.
as they were saying earlier, he's like adapted his playstyle and stuff. But yeah, I think the matchup, like them versus JDG, was the matchup I wanted to see when I saw quarters come out. I was like, well, that's what I want to see for semis, because I want it. It feels like like it could be a possible um like Rocks Tigers level kind of game, like of like really strong top laners. I think back then it was Smeb on rocks, and was that Marin?
Marin, yes, Marin
Yeah.
T1.
So
My
like
God, your memory.
it's like it's so good.
I
Yeah,
mean, back then it was
it's great.
Marin, Smeb, and Someday as the big three
So
Korean
Yeah,
top
yeah,
let's
players.
yeah.
hit our predictions then, because according to Pick'ems, it is 82% T1. Now we know that that's wrong because obviously Chinese fans are going to be worse represented on Pick'ems. But who are you guys giving this series? We'll go down the list. I'll go last. So Delphi first. Who are you giving it to? T1 JDG.
Okay, this is so difficult because I did already talk about how much I love Kanabi. Um, but I think like the problem is I want to see T1 win live. But I also
Ooh,
want to see
yeah, Delphi,
JDG
you're
win.
you're gonna get to see that, right? You're going to Atlanta both
Yeah,
days.
I'm going to semis. I'm going to semis. So I want to see T1 win, but at the same time, like who do I think will win? I think JDG will win.
So
'Cause
if
I
you
really
were to
wanna
give them an advantage in what roles, 1-to-1, would you give that to them?
JDG, I think top is gonna be the most interesting because it's the most even. I think Faker is better than Yagao. I think Kanavi is better than Owner. I think Hope and Missing versus Gumacaria. I think Gumacaria wins that. Just from if you ask me to rate from like summer split, I say Guma's worse, Caria's even. But like from quarters and like from world performance, definitely Gumacaria win. So I
Right.
think I don't know because it just depends on how much Kanavi can do and if 369 wins top or not. I think that's what it all depends on.
Yeah, Maxi, I wonder what your answer is gonna be.
Obviously, I'm gonna pick T1.
Oh,
Oh, what a shocker!
what?
Guma Yusi
I'm-
Sansu pick T1? No way!
No way! And I just I'm not that I don't have much to say because I don't know much about JDG because I've only been watching EG and T1 for the for the whole worlds, and I just really want to see Faker in finals again.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I mean
Yes.
I want Arsh to see
that's a lot
Faker.
of people's motivation, right? People want to see Faker reclaim that title. It's super motivating for people. Sean?
Yeah.
Um, I it's so weird. So like, I just want 5 games. Quite honestly, I just want
Based
Same.
5 games.
based on Redfield.
Because if T1 wins, and like, let's just say hypothetically they win the whole thing, then we're gonna get some epic skins based off of what Riot said of how many times you win worlds. Like the skins get better, right?
Wait, they said that? That's crazy.
Well, that
Same
because
for
like when
CT2.
T1 was like on their run, right? They were like, well, we're not just gonna make a SKT skin at the time, right? We're gonna add more flair to it. We're gonna do better, so like it amplifies as more as you win. Like your skins will be like better skins if you win more. But I also just like new teams winning because that's new skins. So
Genji.
JDG is
Sorry.
cool. And I actually have JDG winning because
Oh?
yeah,
Oh,
I think it's gonna be really good. I think Kanavi and Yagao are a better
So
mid
real.
2v2 than Faker and Owner, but it's really going to depend, I think, on the bot lanes because I think top is such an even matchup, and as long as like Hope and Missing versus Guma Carrier, I think that'll be really cool. I think JDG will also have an answer to like the LCKs like Ashheimer. So that's hopefully something a little bit interesting. But it'll be cool. Probably like the ban button. That'd be nice because I don't want to see it. But yeah,
EDGG's
that's
true.
I have JDG 3-2. So
JDG
Ooh,
3-2.
fun.
then
My prediction's weird because I'm on the same page as Delphi as like if I go down the list, I think I give T1 more advantages like directly against their opponents than I give JDG. But weirdly, I like think about the matchup and I think that JDG is closer than that, right? Like I think this is probably the closest to 50-50 matchup we've had at all of Worlds and probably will for the rest of Worlds.
No, I disagree actually.
Oh,
I think
really?
Genji actually no. I think actually no. If you look at it, like in theory, Genji Damwon is not close, but in practice, Genji Damwon looked closer than I say T1
well,
JDG.
if you were
Yeah,
watching,
but
even in LCK, the like Damn one was always the one to take
Yeah,
Genji. But
they were
yeah,
the best match for Genji.
in
yeah.
my
So
opinion, I mean, we'll get to that game, but like in my opinion, that wasn't really an accurate reflection. We'll get to that game. We'll get to the game. I don't wanna. We'll get to that game next, actually. But
Yeah, we
just
know.
quickly, like I think JDG is so damn good at playing as a team, especially through their mid jungle. And while I think I'm echoing a little bit through Duffy's mic.
It's probably my mic for me.
Yeah, I'm echoing. Yeah. So while I do think that JDG is really damn good with their mid jungle, I just can't get myself to predict against this T1 team because it feels like every time in this tournament that they've been pushed, they've kicked into another gear, and it feels like they're leveling up at the right time during this international tournament. I have seen holes in JDG's play. I did not expect them to be pushed that hard by Rogue, and I do think they got pushed, even though it was like a little tap. It's like I expect Rogue to be like a 3-year-old fighting a MMA fighter against an
MMO.
MMO fighter. Either one,
Yeah.
right? Either one. I expected JDG to knock out punch here. T1 RNG was more dominant in my opinion. Not really maybe, but like I don't know. It's
Yeah,
just
no.
I was not impressed with JDG, whereas I was really impressed by T1 because it felt like every time you try to push them over the edge to try to push them to lose, it's like, okay, that's like there's more there, and so I have faith in T1 here. I think T1's gonna pull it out. Okay, so that brings us to the other side of the bracket. Quarterfinals matchup 1, Genji versus Damwon Kia. Prior to Sunday, this was Saturday's matchup. Prior to Sunday, people thought that this might be one of the greatest World's Best of Fives of all time. Right? People said, "Oh my God, we're not going to top this for the rest of Worlds, perhaps." And this was an incredible series. I don't know,
It really was.
Delphi, you want to
Oh,
give your thoughts?
I guess I'll be the. I mean, it was. I knew it was gonna be closer than people said it was because,
I agree.
as Sean said earlier, Dalmon was always the one to push JDG or push not JDG, push Genji to the limit, if not beat them, right? And I think it was kind of expected. I didn't expect because like when they won those 2 games, I was like, oh my God, they're gonna get swept. Because I expected it 3-1 or 3-2.
Yeah.
I was actually genuinely surprised that they got beat like so hard. They looked like they were just gonna get like swept, laid on die. I don't even know what would be worse. But it's just, I think it was a very good matchup for Damwon, and I think Showmaker and Canyon especially had some absolutely like superhero plays.
Yeah.
And it really,
Incredible
really
series.
sucks that we don't have double elimination. So I can see
It
this
does really
Damwon run.
suck. Imagine if we got to see, I don't know, Damwon versus someone else from the other side of the bracket, like
Damwon.
RNG.
Well, I
How
think it
sick
would
would
be
that have
Damwon
been?
versus EDG, maybe, or like.
Yeah, or I don't know how the lower bracket would work, right? But
Anything like that. Ugh.
like
Oh,
No one,
Damon
no,
versus
no one would want to
EDG
see
would be
that.
interesting though.
No one would want
It's
to see
like
it. What are you talking about?
well, okay, so I mean this was an incredible series. Kane twice by Canyon. I I don't know, Maxi, if you had any thoughts on what part of the series you did see. Like, I mean, there was a lot
I
of interesting picks and a lot of
Anything.
I was half asleep when I was watching.
fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. I don't know,
Yeah,
Sean
but like
or Maxi go. Sorry.
it it was I like Genji, but I also like Canyon, so it was kind of a painful series to
Yeah,
watch.
same. I'm a
Dude,
fan of both
I
of these
cried
teams.
at the end of it. I cried a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like it was weird because there were I think especially like in games 1 and 2, even though they went Genji's way, I think you would probably say that like Damwon Kia really had like the ball in their court metaphorically, right? Like
Yeah, for sure.
they were the ones
They
like
had opportunities.
they get first tower, they get both Rift Heralds, they get the second Drake and stuff like that. So like they're really like pressing their advantages and stuff like that. And I like their comps in both of them as well. Although I really obviously liked the Gen G like double melees with the peanut Sejuani.
Yeah, and I think I did like Genji's late series pivot to stopping doing that for no reason. That was really interesting. Where they like
Oh,
Yeah,
had a good idea and then they went, "Oh, let's actually not do that."
I mean like it was interesting, but also like elephant in the room. Canyon Showmaker were like on a whole nother level, especially Canyon. Kind of like people would say gapping Peanut. I just think he was just doing Canyon things.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, that
You know,
first game, the pathing and the way he was just cutting off Peanut at every turn, with the cane, it really felt like
it was like
the Damwon
cyberbullying.
versus Genji spring playoffs game 5 where Peanut was just getting ran by Canyon.
Yeah. It
I
was.
felt like that.
I love watching like smart junglers. Like we like TN and we like Canyon and Karsa of old and stuff like that. Like these are like it's just so much fun to when they have the advantage, how they can pressure it at like such a high level. But man, game 3 starts and then Showmaker gets the Swain pick, and I
Oh
was
my
so
god.
happy because I love
Scripting.
Swain.
Like
I
scripting,
love
literally, on
I
stage.
love, but my biggest thing that I was just like ramming my head against, right? So Damwon Kia go Lucian Nami 2 games in a row. And then Duckdom
They-
pulls out his one trick in Aphelios. I say one trick, but like the one that
Best
what
champion
he's
by
known
far.
for.
Yeah.
And just Genji's like, nope, not a problem. Nope, not a
They don't
problem.
ban it.
Yeah, I
And
Don't
it's
think
like,
ban
are
it.
yeah.
you kidding me?
When they let it through that game 5,
Oh my!
No,
I
I
was
was
sweating.
screaming.
did you guys see my tweet? One
You
of my
tweet?
proudest tweets
Are
did
you on
not pop
Twitter?
off, but I didn't care. I tweeted right after that draft. I was walking around, I was getting dinner, and I said, fell to my knees in a Qdoba when I saw this Gen G Game 5
Oh,
draft.
Udobo. I remember
Literally,
making fun of you
oh
for
my
that.
god. This was, I mean, I know I cut you off a little bit, Sean, but like I agree so much. I mean, honestly, personally, I think that this series should have been a 3-0 or a 3-1.
I think
It
it should have been a 3-1.
concerns me a lot that Gen G's mid-series draft adaptation was, oh, what if we made our drafts way worse? Like, I think from every perspective, Gen G's drafts literally just got worse over the course of the series, and they happened to win Game 5. Like, that was really, really scary for me.
Well, I don't know if they just happened to win Game 5 because I think their adaptations for Game 5 were good, and also, like, not really a huge fan of like the Syndra Renekton that they pulled out in the way like when they pulled it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, no,
Also,
I definitely don't think like the Damwon drafts were getting better over the course of the series. I just like, I mean, this Game 5 draft is 3.5 melee characters, if you can even count Nar as a melee character, and Sejuani. You know what I mean?
It
Like, I
didn't
just
look
don't know what's
good.
happening here.
I didn't like it, and I didn't like that they let Aphelios through again.
yeah, for sure.
Like it's just like the simple things like that in draft that it just infuriate me the most. Just like you see this guy easily his best champion. Like any fan art of him, he's holding the little Aphelios gun. Anytime you see him, he's on that Aphelios, right? He's
Yeah.
popping
Yeah,
off. Oh, he's on Aphelios. You see this? He's on
Scouts
Aphelios.
should look into what the fan art for these players looks like. That's actually really smart.
Yep. That's what I'm
They should be
saying.
looking into that more.
And
Get on that, Scouts.
wow, yeah, that's actually that's what we
no, but
need
I'm
to
saying like what my point was with the fan art
do.
thing was that he's known for this champion, and like everybody knows he's known for this champion. You ask like somebody who's watched like 2 Dom 1 games what Doc Dom is known for, it's the Aphelios. And just letting it through again, like it just felt so ego to me, and I was like, I love Ruler to death, but this is not looking good.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
like
I
I don't
agree
know why
for
you would try
100%.
to outhand it instead of just pressing the win button.
yeah, that ban button is really hard to uh
To
you
find
know
sometimes.
yeah, sometimes it's maybe the client was like in I don't
Just
know.
well, the client would
So-
never be buggy in League, so that can't
No,
be
it's
it.
like it had to be in a different. Yeah. Oh yeah. True. Never buggy.
Well, I
No,
just
but like
like I'm not a fan of Lucian Nami. I'll just say
I,
that.
I think it's still fine. I just don't necessarily like it into this the Duckdom's Aphelios in particular. Okay, I don't think it was good. I also think Lucian Nami had a really hard time into the other comps. And then also like you were talking about this series could have been 3-0 or 3-1. Yeah, in Damwon's favor actually, because like Gen G was not really like they were trading back and forth game 1. Game 2 was a Damwon game until it went to like 40 minutes, right? And like then we started like seeing like Chovy and Doran. Doran actually had like a really good game on that Camille
Yeah.
in that game. But it was really interesting. And then we get Canyon pulling out the cane again. And while it was like he was denying a lot of moves from Peanut in the early part of the game, and like Peanut didn't really, he's not doing anything. He's not farming many camps. He's losing the rest of the map, and they just played so respectfully. Like, what was that? A 22 minute Kane transformation,
Yeah,
something
that
like
was
that.
gross. How long he was just stuck in his base form because they didn't fight at all.
Yeah, and then like Showmaker, I don't know. This has to be a glitch, but it's taking Demolish on Syndra.
No,
And
he's
so,
goated.
like,
That's my goat. That's my goat. Okay.
oh yeah, goat home. Yeah, because
Go
that's where
home.
that's where that's
Jesus
where he is right
Christ.
now.
That's horrible.
Yeah, but it's like the series was amazing though.
Yeah.
Overall, the back and forth and stuff like that. And it was little did we know after like 2-3-0s would we get like
An insane
the
series like
best 10 games of consecutive League of Legends
Yes.
that.
in
I
a 24-hour period.
As a man who loves legendary performances, flashy performances from mid laners, I had a very good Saturday and Sunday. Because we went into that EDG DRX series and everyone's eyes were on one matchup, mid lane. Because guess what? DRX
Becca versus
has
Scout.
one narrative and it's Zeka. they have not talked about, the broadcast has not talked about anything on this DRX team other than Zeka. I don't even know the other
That's
players'
not
names.
true. They talk about
Well,
Def.
okay, time out.
Oh,
Before
okay.
we
No,
even get
actually,
there,
that's true. I forgot about Deft.
that you forgot about Def. Get off the show. This is my show.
Dude,
No.
how do you forget about
No,
It's
I remember
Def.
Deft, guys. I remember Deft. Deft is great. I love Deft.
Literally, that promo that they did with like Caster June
Oh my god, yeah.
for
That was
for
incredible.
DRX and then the EDG stuff, where he says "Let's dance" at the end. I
Yeah,
got
yeah.
so much freaking goosebumps,
Dude,
and it's also like he gave me like Dio vibes. If you watch like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure,
my
It was
Is that
Oh.
a JoJo?
probably one of my
oh my god,
favorite Worlds teasers of all time. I think for almost everybody, the 2019 semis teaser is beyond iconic. That's the one where you have the Faker,
Honey, what?
the screenshot of Faker, or like not the screenshot, the picture of Faker that's like him in red. That's like always final boss Faker. It's like his most
Hey,
iconic like
Maxi.
Demon King one.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
that,
yeah.
like it's the like there's been a lot of really good teasers and stuff. This one was incredible.
Maxi, quick question. Your question. What were you doing during 2019 Worlds?
Me?
Not watching League of Legends. I was not watching. Maxi was not watching either.
I wasn't watching either, but I watched it
What?
back. Or no, I was
I-
watching. Sorry, I was watching, but it's like I was so I was such a casual viewer. I watched this teaser I think originally when this happened. Like when it released. But like I was a fan of Caps just like by name at that point because I just knew Caps was really good and he was a Western player and I was like that's cool. And I didn't really properly start watching until the beginning of 2020. When the pandemic
Why?
happened.
Oh my god.
Why is your starting story so nice? When I started being a fan,
that was the
I joined.
LSM, right?
Yeah, I joined right smack in the middle of the November 2020 LS issue. So I joined in not knowing anything at all, and all of a sudden people are like, I see people trash talking LS like, huh, what's happening?
Yeah, there was a
Y'all
lot.
are babies. Oh my goodness.
Yes, everyone here is very young.
Yeah.
I'm about to show my age. I literally the first well, I don't remember the first, but like one of my earliest memories was watching season 4 Worlds at a movie theater in Dallas, Texas, and meeting Kiwi Kid and Golden Glue at the theater.
That's
Because
crazy.
they like yeah, and it
I,
was like
I
it was amazing. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. And then in 2019, the I the yeah, was
You
that
watched,
IG?
Sean,
you got to see the shy and rookie and
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
2019 was
Delphi loves the shy.
I do love
really.
Like
Shy.
to a
I was-
dangerous extent. Like
You
to an
mean- you
extent
mean-
where there
y- y-
probably should be a restraining order
You
filed.
mean the
Sean?
No.
Can I just say, Sean, I'm so sorry. But when you mentioned the season 4 and then you met this person and this person, I do not know who they are.
Her
Okay,
brain-
well,
Kid-
okay. So Kiwi Kid
yeah.
was a support player for Dignitas with I'm a Cutie Pie and Core JJ when Core was
Oh.
when Core was ADC for Dignitas, and Golden Glue was a journeyman mid laner who is now the head coach for 100 Thieves Academy.
I know that part.
Yeah,
You know why I know that part?
because you love Tenacity and Busio.
Damn.
Damn, you got read like a book. Oh my
I,
god.
I heard the spiel about how cute people's faces were, so I just took an educated guess.
Wow. Wait, no way. Did you just guess those two players off the dome? Did you not even
Yes.
see like my Twitter or anything?
No, I like just followed y'all right now on Twitter, but that's
Oh
about it.
my god.
Yeah. So,
Dang.
but yeah, so that's really cool. I'm old as hell. Yeah, EDG versus DRX, Deft and Zeka for sure. Yeah, the mid lane was really, really hype.
I came into it half jokingly, half seriously predicting that Scout would get diffed because I thought that Zeka is really good, and I think that Scout's been on and off. I think Scout had some pretty good games during laning phase, but I just think that eventually Zeka's, I don't know, playmaking, his overall just like fiery playstyle in game pulled out, and like, I mean, Scout almost looked invisible sometimes, where it was just like the Zeka show.
See, I think I'm learning more and more about you, Arsh, is that you want the flashy shit.
Yes, I love the
You just,
flashy shit.
yeah, it's like, ooh,
I got that teenager
gooba.
brain. I got that teenager brain.
You're
Ooh, bright
smart.
flashy
Yeah,
lights.
you're definitely smart for sure. So,
Well, I mean, it's
uh,
definitely like I do think like Scout had a couple of amazing laning games. He was really putting pressure on Zeka.
I mean, the freaking so when DRX pulls out the freaking Ashheimer in game one, and I want to go to Snoozeville, but then EDG responds with Flandre's cannon, and then they also pulled out the Raka for Mako.
Yeah,
I really liked that. It was weird because like DRX is like, well, we don't want Mako on engage because like Mako is like king on engage, and then like Flandre's answer is like, well, they're immobile, so we're just gonna flank them. But Scout in that game,
yeah,
I think Scout legit. I was laughing with people. I was in the call in because both games that Scout played Azir, Barrow was on his Heimerdinger, and it's like anytime that Heimerdinger was on screen, Scout's like flash holding his ear, just trying to kill this guy. He hates Heimerdinger or something.
yeah. I mean, Scout. In my opinion, Scout's performance is like, or Scout got more and more invisible over the time. Like that first game was incredible. Obviously, he had incredible KDAs and incredible performances the entire series, but like that first game on Azir, even though it wasn't actually his, I don't think it was his best KDA all series. That was incredible. He, in my opinion, he solo carried that game. He like Flandre did well, but I think Flandre just played Kennen. Um,
Yeah, it's definitely a
yeah,
counter pick in that. But
definitely
like
just
he
like
did his,
holy shit, Scout smurfed that. And when I saw that game one, I was so sad. We were in call, we were watch partying it, and I remember I said to Delphi, I was like, I'm echoing by the way, Delphi again. I said to Delphi, I'm echoing. No, I said to Delphi like, damn, it's over, dude. That game was so, because in my opinion, and in the opinion of some people, I saw like that EDG draft was really weird. It was really disjointed, and I was like, damn, if DRX can't win like this, it's just over. I don't think we're gonna see DRX kick into another gear. And then we saw that game two. Anything notable happen in that game two, guys?
Oh
No, nothing. I don't remember anything.
no,
Nothing.
I don't think so.
Well, I saw a Washington Post article about how it was really hard to understand what Deft was doing. So, maybe it was weird. Maybe it wasn't
Okay,
that.
I do not want to reference that article. You know my opinions on
Yeah,
that. Thank
I
you.
did not
Remember
enjoy
your
it
opinions
either.
on
But
it.
but
Share,
oh
share.
my god,
Haven't read it yet.
possibly one of the most like the Veti released the video of the casters reacting to it, and oh my god, it's
You
exactly the
thought
kind of like just heartbreaking.
you would have thought that someone like stole Azale's like best like stuffed animal or something
Yeah, like
like
someone
that.
killed Azale's cat. Like they were shattered.
Oh my
Veti's
god.
Veti's call was I think it was Veti's call. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
it was.
It was
Yeah,
Veti's
that
call where he was like,
Deft, it
"Deft,
was in your
the
hands.
game was in your hands." Like incredible. It was so emotional, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's insane!" Like it was incredible. And then like EDG just kills him, calls it, ends the game, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, if DRX lose this series now, it's it's one of the most heartbreaking things, especially if it's 3-0. Imagine getting 3-0'd, like, and you're
After
just have to be
that
like,
game, yeah.
ah,
When
you have to just
also it's crazy because both of these games, right? This one and the one we previously talked about, both five game series, started out with the team who ends up losing game 1 and 2 being in charge or in a place to win in most of these games. Like for Damwon, it was game 2 that they were really, really ahead in, right? And then for DRX, it was game 1. And then the close ones were the opposite ones.
yeah.
Both of these series trying to almost do reverse sweeps. We could have had 2 reverse sweeps back to back, making
Yeah,
them
and
the.
reverse sweeps are like super, super rare at
I
Worlds.
think it's the DRX one was actually spoilers, by the way. The DRX reverse sweep was like the second one ever, and so
second
like
one
it could have
ever?
in Worlds, yeah.
Holy shit! I knew it was rare. I didn't know it was second one
I'm
ever.
pretty sure
Wait, the
Mark
other one was
talked about that.
the LEC team in Top Esport, Fnatic and Top Esport.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fnatic.
Oh
Yeah,
God!
Fnatic Top Esports. Heartbreaking. It did start with success, and for EDG, it also started with success this
Oh
series.
my gosh!
They walked
Nice.
straight into a reverse sweep. I mean, this is an incredible. We were talking about Zeus's mental earlier. That is hard to like throughout a game be like,
It's 'cause
oh
Def is
6,
older,
we're chilling.
bro.
Deft's
Def is
mental.
Giga
Oh my
Chad.
god.
Nothing phases him.
I don't think I could like do that at all. Like I could meditate in the Himalayan mountains for 10 years. I don't think I could have that mental. After game
I
2,
would be destroyed after
that
that.
happens, and you come out games 3 through 5 and you just crush. Game 3 you pick Draven?
I know the Draven pick was crazy.
Yoy.
Yeah,
And in this
especially
game
because it was
3,
Deft.
in this game 3 it was close. Like game 3, it was actually interesting. The game times. So the game times crept up. Game 1, 2, 3, they got longer. Game 3 was the longest game of the series, and it was close. Like EDG funneled it a little too close, and DRX took the advantage and never let go. And they just pushed the game to the end in the last 10 minutes. And like yeah, I don't want to spend a little too long on this, but like I mean, incredible. They had an incredible series. They just pushed. Each game got faster after game 3. Game 4 was faster than that game. 5 was faster than that game. Not by a lot, but still. Like just a really, really, really good series. I was super, super fun. It was a great weekend, in my opinion.
Oh, fantastic.
I don't know. I think that was EDG DRX and Gen G Damwon on their own are historic BO5s, and having
For
them
sure.
both together is like, I don't know
Yeah,
if it'll ever
same
be
weekend.
matched, except for the very cool matchup we have coming up, Gen G DRX. It's the last semifinals
Oh my
matchup.
god, please do not. I will actually be crying in the stadium, by the way, because
Watching both?
yeah, I have tickets for Sunday too. That's Chovy versus Deft.
That's so
Like, I don't
it's
know.
so
Ah,
hard.
the
You guys definitely know about
besties.
DRX 2020. Like, they're still
Yeah.
so close. They come to Deft's house, like they invade his house and they just sit on his bed and like just they bother him and they love him and they're all still so close and I cannot deal with it. It was like the same thing as
Dude, it's not just Chovy versus Deft. It's Chovy versus Deft and Pyoshik.
Stop. It's like when T1 when Carrion knocked out HLE last year.
Yeah.
And they were and like
Oh,
I think wasn't Carrion crying after like he
yeah,
won
he
Fakers
was
too?
he was crying that he eliminated both of them.
Like I can't handle that in person. Like I get very emotional. Like I cried after the EDG game or the EDG DRX game. I cried after the Damwon Genji game. I will be crying in the stadium after that DRX Genji game, no matter the
No
outcome.
matter the result. It's hard.
When you cry in the
so-
stadium, can you please take a video of yourself crying? Thanks.
Excuse
Why do you
me?
want that?
It's funny.
What do you
What?
Fire. Actually, no. Actually, I'm on Maxi's side now. That flames. Flames. Actually
Oh,
flames.
yeah.
I'm on her side now. I take it back.
Wow.
But this is an incredible matchup. Is there anyone here, speak now or forever hold your peace, if you think DRX is favorite?
Wait, favorite or we're picking them?
If you're picking them, sorry. If you're picking them.
Oh, I'm picking DRX.
I'm picking
yeah.
them.
You're picking. Ooh, whoa! I did not think that's where this is going. You guys
Oh,
are picking
because a lot
DRX.
of
Okay,
people want
Maxi
Deft-
first.
a lot of
Tell me,
people
why
want
are you
Deft to
picking
win.
DRX?
Okay, I'm mainly doing it for the storyline aspect of it. Can
Oh,
you
okay, yeah.
imagine
T1 versus DRX. Oh
T1
my
versus
god!
DRX? That's Deft and Pyoshik versus Keria, and that's Faker versus Deft. You have by like one of the two of the oldest players in LCK fighting for the
They went to high
trophy.
school
Deft,
together, by the way.
arguably, I mean, if not objectively, a top 5 player of all time, if not top 3. Like,
And
he's
you
incredible.
like
Legacy.
the storyline you have with Keria, Deft, and Pyoshik, and the
And don't
storyline you
forget,
have between the Mapo duo.
and don't forget,
That's
yeah, the Gumayusi versus Carius ex-husband in the bot.
oh my gosh. Oh gosh. Um,
The
for
storyline of T1 versus DRX is very compelling. However, I
but
have the Genji light stick and the Genji banner and a lot of stuff Genji. So I will be cheering for Genji there. Um I really, really do love Deft and Pyoshik especially, but I just can't cheer against Chovy and Ruler.
It's hard to pick
um
a team to want to eliminate at this stage, to be honest. I
Yeah.
like all these teams.
yeah.
But
Yep.
Sean,
Storyline
you also
wise,
oh, sorry, Maxi, go.
oh sorry. I just wanted to say if it was like if T1 makes it to finals, storyline wise, both teams would be really good because besides DRX, you have T1 versus Genji for the final
Run it
time
back.
this year. So it's like a last bat. It's like
Yeah, this is
uh
the matchup that defined the year in
it's a
LCK.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the finals each time. Yeah.
Coming into the year, right? Like the LCK narrative was like, "Oh, okay. So Naguri's taking a break. So that means that there are 2 teams in LCK and there are 8 people there or 8 teams there for fun. They're going to get
Yeah.
experience." Right? And that's
I
kind of what
mean,
it was. It was like T1 and Genji
no, not
and
necessarily.
I mean, not
At the
literally,
summer
right?
at
But it's
least.
like that's what people thought during the offseason at least, right? Like
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
what it was coming into the year. That was the narrative of like, "Oh my god. Goliath and
Yeah.
Goliath and 8 Davids." Right?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I chose DRX because it's a catch 22 or it's not it's like I win either way cuz like if DRX win, deft, right?
Yeah.
Storyline and then also new skins, right? I talked about it different because we've never had DRX skins. Gen G win. Now I know that maybe Riot doesn't view it this way, but Gen G to me is still like Samsung.
Right.
So like maybe they also make their skins just as good because like Samsung has previously won twice. The org at least has won twice.
Yeah.
So like maybe they make it better, but they're also if not, then it's new skins as well. So like that's cool. But I am definitely just going for like the Def storyline. But if Def doesn't win, then that means he's probably not going to retire. So like I'm like damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of pick it for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, my dream scenario. I think I posted it. I have to go find the poll actually. Like, what finals do you want to see? And I want to see JDG versus DRX. Not because like I don't like the other 2 teams. It's just like the underdog stories. I think from
So
my
what I'm
point of view.
hearing is that Sean hates T1 and Genji. Post him on Twitter.
Blow up
Get
his
those T1
Twitter,
fans
boys.
after
We're
him.
getting them. We're getting them. Today's the
Oh
day.
yeah, yeah. That's it. My
Which
experience with
one?
One is over
Seanatonin.
party.
Yeah.
He hates Chovy. Said that himself. No, but I
What?
think for me it's like, listen, GRX is great. I love Zeka. I don't think that there's a single player in the world that is better than Chovy. And that is partially me who loves the inhuman mid laners and will simp for them. I love you, Caps. But like,
Yeah,
I
Caps is
mean,
watching this for real.
yeah, Caps is watching this. Of course he is. Chovy is like, Chovy is so damn good, and Ruler is so damn good, and I want to see these
I love
players
Ruler. Sorry.
win worlds because they have to, right? Like, Chovy has to win worlds just so that I can comment on Reddit threads and Twitter things and be like, Chovy's in the GOAT discussion. You know, like, I want, because in my opinion, Chovy is like one of the most revolutionary, terrific players to ever play the game. So I'll always root for him. But I think this series is going to be incredible because we're going to see a lot of heartbreak either way, but a really back and forth series where both teams are going to be willing to pick really fun stuff, really interesting stuff, and really take us to hopefully more than 3 games, and hopefully it won't be a blowout. Even though I love Chinchi, I would like them to, have a little more fun than that.
Yeah, I want 15 games from here on out. I just want 15 games. That's
Yeah,
all.
that would be sick. 15 games would be great. We would have had a really good. That might even be like the longest Worlds ever, like in terms of games.
My heart
and
cannot take the
Dude,
stress at 15 games.
Nope, I'm sorry.
I want 15 games too, like screw my sleep schedule.
Yes,
Sleep.
I
Who is
agree.
she? Who is she?
I
Okay,
know, right?
we are
I'm with it.
cresting an hour, so we're gonna close it out there. Everyone can get their final comments in, and we'll do a little bit of a like a shout out, everything like that. So I'll go first. I'm Arsh at Arsh13 on Twitter, Dignitas Arsh. Not really any shout outs, but like World's Finals, I will be there if you guys are going. I would love to meet people in the community. I'm really, really fucking excited to watch semis this weekend. It's gonna be incredible. Yeah, and I hope we get 10 games. I hope we get 10 fun fucking games. Delphi?
I'm Delfino. December OLI on Twitter. I'm going to semis. If you're going, please DM me. I bought a bunch of cute clothes so I could take nice pictures. So I want to take pictures with my friends. Also, I want to shout out 100 Thieves Tenacity. Thank you for streaming. I really like your art. I mean your gameplay. And
Really? Big fan of the
Sure.
large, voluptuous gameplay?
yeah. And shout out to Travis Gafford, who is doing Hotline League, which I will also be there in a very cute outfit. So go take a picture with me. I will post myself on Twitter. Okay. So go take a picture and also follow me on Instagram. I'll drop my Instagram later.
Shout out to the rest of NAmen who couldn't be in this episode today. I had a lot of fun with this episode. For okay, to the people who follow me for a time, you know how for finals I have drinking games. So I'm gonna be preparing one for finals and possibly one semis game. Let's see. You can follow me on Twitter at Gumayushi Sonsu. I'm not gonna attempt to spell it because I might misspell it once more.
Yeah, all of our Twitter handles are in the description and everything like that. And last but not least, our special guest. Thank you so much for coming in here, Sean.
Yeah, I really appreciate y'all inviting me and having me on. This is awesome. Love talking League all the time. You can find me on Twitter at Seanatonin _. Yeah, it has the underscore. Sorry, some of the dudes got the real one. And my shout out is to supporting NA talent. Obviously, we're on the NAmen Podcast. Really, really excited to see how this off season comes up and all the hopeful NA talent that's going to be moving around. So yeah, go support academy and amateur scene here in North America.
Yeah,
I agree.
we will be looking to do more off-season type content. No leaks, obviously, because none of us are that cool. But we will talk a lot about
Yourself,
off-season in the next couple weeks. That's going to be a really fun part of it. LCS is going to be great. There's a lot of rumored LoL Esports Global changes, which I hope are true. Not going to say anything because I don't want to jinx it, but they look fucking awesome. So hopefully those things happen. Hopefully we are going into an incredible weekend of games. And yeah, let's call it there. Thank you guys for watching NAmen episode 6, which I knew off the top of my head certainly, and we will see you guys next time. Thank you.